Welcome to this classic broadcast from the Wrestling Epicenter archives. It features former WCW star Lash LeRoux and Flirty Missy Hyatt. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoy it and let us know what you think in the comments. And subscribe to our channel. It really helps.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Interactive Interview on theinteractiveinterview.com. Today's guest, the Raging Cajun, Lash LeRoux. Lash, how you doing?
I am tremendous, and by the way there, James, that is the Raging, my God, Cajun.
Thanks for correcting me.
Well, you know, what can I do?
First question I have for you is pretty blanket. It's, were you a wrestling fan growing up?
I was a huge wrestling fan when I was a lot younger. As I got into high school and got a little bit older, I got away from it, not so much because I wasn't a fan, but I was just so busy with working a lot of odd jobs and playing football and doing some amateur wrestling that I just really didn't have time for it. It was later on in college that I fell back in love with it.
Who were some of your favorites, I guess, at both times, both when you were a kid and I guess when you started getting back into it in college?
Well, I kind of came in at that unique time that they really had a nice crossover. When I was really young, I was a big fan of Hulk Hogan, like, you know, many people in my generation, of course.
Yep.
Ric Flair, the Four Horsemen, loved them. Dusty Rhodes, you know, the Road Warriors. Big fan of all the old school guys that you can imagine like that. The guys that really busting their butt going out there. And really here in the South also, it was a strong stronghold for Bullet Bob Armstrong. So I was a huge fan of the Armstrongs, too.
What made you decide to want to get back involved in wrestling in the ring?
Actually, it was a freak thing, man. Do you mean now, or do you mean when I first started in wrestling?
When you first started, I guess.
Yeah, when I first started in wrestling, it was kind of a freak thing, man. I mean, I graduated from high school. I went to college. I was studying pre-med. I wanted to be a doctor, and I did a lot of the cartoons on the side still even then. And I really enjoy educating myself, you know, on anything I become interested in, whether it's artwork or whatever else. And I had gotten a lot of books and was reading up on selling cartoons. So I tried to take a semester off from college and try to sell my cartoons and see if I could make any money at that. And that's when I started watching wrestling again. And it was about that same time the NWO had just hit, WCW was going strong, and they had started the power plant.
Right.
And I saw a couple of the promos, some of the advertisements for the power plant on Monday Nitro, and I thought, you know, I keep myself in pretty decent shape. I wrestled in high school and did pretty well amateur-wise, so I thought I would try out. And the rest, as they say, is history.
Who were some of your trainers in the power plant?
The original assassin, Cody Hamilton, which is Nick Patrick's dad. He was kind of over the whole thing there. Sarge, Buddy Lee Parker, that trained Goldberg and a lot of those big-name guys like that came to the power plant. Pistol Pez Watley, and a guy by the name of Mike Winter. But great thing about being a part of the WCW and being at the power plant there in Atlanta was that a lot of the wrestlers there for WCW would come through there all the time. So you had a great opportunity to learn a lot from, you know, every different person you could think of.
A fan from the forums, Lloyd, is sending in a question. He wants to know, the first time he saw you was a match against Billy Kidman. He believes it might have been your debut on TV. First of all, how did you enjoy working with Kidman? And secondly, what was your debut like? How were you feeling? What was going through your mind?
Oh, brother, it was most likely my Nitro debut in Minneapolis. I'll never forget that because it was my actual first Nitro match. It was my first live match. I had done some worldwide matches and some WCW Saturday night matches before then.
Right.
But they had just kind of called me out of the blue, man, and said, we want you to have this match with Billy Kidman for the Cruiserweight title. Kind of threw me out there and gave me a great opportunity. And, you know, Billy Kidman's a great guy, tremendous athlete, and I was very fortunate to be able to step in there with him and have a great match. And because of that match that we had, they were impressed, they being the office of WCW, and from then on, man, I went from just being some trainee at the power plant to they kept me on the road, and I was on tour with everybody else from then on.
One of the first angles you did was with the Disco Inferno. You faced him at Halloween Havoc, and then they eventually teamed you guys up. How did you get along with Glenn Gilberti, the Disco Inferno?
Got along with him great, man. I think he's one of the most entertaining guys in our business. And he's not the most athletic person in the world, but he has such great entertaining matches and smart matches. I mean, he wrestles a very intelligent match, whether you like him or you don't like him.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes him a tough competitor, you know, regardless of the situation. And so I always enjoyed working with him, teaming up with him. Even when we had to face each other, we always had some great matches. And they seem to be pretty memorable. I mean, you know, fans still ask me about them now, so I'm proud of a lot of those matches.
When you were doing your angle with the Mamalukes, you were under the command, I guess you would say, of Vince Russo, who was running the TV back then. How'd you get along with Vince Russo?
Got along great with Vince Russo. I still do now. I've seen him, you know, recently backstage at a lot of the TNA shows, and I always thought Vince was a very creative guy. He was a very fair guy. And he would sit me down and personally let me know exactly where I stood. And you know what? Whether you like me or you don't like me, that's all I would ever ask out of anybody. Hey, be straight up with me. If you think there's a spot for me, if you don't think there's a spot for me, you know, either way, as long as you're honest. And one thing I have to give to Vince Russo, he was always honest with me.
In early 2000, Chris Benoit, Eddie Guerrero, those guys left, and Vince Russo was pretty much taken out of power with Kevin Sullivan being put back as booker. You were backstage at the locker room at that point. Was the change in the locker room? I've heard stories from guests that were on the show that said that the locker room morale was low at that point. Would you say that was a fair statement?
I think the locker room morale, you know, constantly went on a roller coaster ride, to be honest. And it wasn't so much because it was directed at anyone personally, is my opinion. I think it was more so just because you're sitting here working for a great company that really you're afraid they don't know which direction they really want to commit themselves to go in.
Right.
So I think because of that, you know, that was the reason for the morale going up and down. As far as the politics or lack thereof or whatever else, I'll be honest with you, I was never one that really felt like I was affected by the politics. And I was brought into this business to believe that if you always worked hard, if you were a good talent, and you didn't try to play those kind of political games, then you would always have an opportunity, you'd always have a job. And I was just happy to be a part of the company, man. I didn't like to play any of those kind of games. I really didn't put myself around people that did play those kind of games. And because of that, I was fortunate enough that I would just show up, I would do my job, and I was taken care of by WCW, and I was happy to be there. And so, you know, I didn't get caught up in that. In my opinion is, once you let yourself get caught up in those kind of, you know, political backstabbing games or whatever else people may think are going on, you know, once you let yourself get caught up in that, sooner or later it's going to come back to bite you in the butt. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, yeah.
So I just like to do the best I can do as far as being the best wrestler and the best talent I can be, regardless of who's in charge. And it was a pleasure for me to work with all of them.
You worked with Prince Iaukea in Super Bowl, I guess this was 2000. Yeah, Super Bowl 2000, you worked Prince Iaukea. Whatever happened to him? That's my question.
Now, I cannot confirm or deny this, but the latest rumor that I had gotten, and this was several years ago, this was right after WCW was bought, I had heard a rumor that he lived, and I knew he lived in Florida, I think around the Tampa area or something. And by the way, he was a good friend of mine and a great guy. I mean, I learned a lot from some of the great matches I had with him. But I had heard that he had won the lottery, and so he kind of retired. You know, whether that's true or not, I don't know, but I haven't really seen him out on the wrestling circuit, you know, any. So I got to assume he's doing something like that. But, you know, if he did win the lottery, God love him. There's not anybody I can think of that deserves it more.
That's cool to hear. Did you think when they brought Bischoff and Russo back together that it was going to work?
I really did, man, and I thought it was going to work just simply because I thought we had a great company. I thought we had a great roster of talent, and you know, a lot of people wanted to second guess, you know, all those kind of thoughts and stuff back then, and they wanted to play armchair quarterback and say, well, you should have been doing this, or this could have been on the show. But you know, now looking back, I'm sure there's a lot of people going, God, I wish there was a WCW around.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? And so. Yeah, it's kind of one of those things you don't know what you're missing until it's gone.
Yeah, that's a great song, too. I'm dating myself when I say that. Okay,
Yeah, and I'm afraid you are, because I'll be honest with you, I was clueless. Not to hurt your feelings, but I was clueless on that.
Okay, good. Okay, Misfits in Action. What was your initial opinions when they pitched this idea to you?
Well, I mean, I'll be honest with you. We were just happy to be used. We were set down by Vince Russo, and basically he said, you are a group of very talented guys. We don't want to send you home and not be using you, but at the same time, we don't really have room for everyone individually on the show. Here's this idea we want to throw on you guys, and basically you're going to be the comic relief of WCW.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, we were happy to do it. And the fact that, and we really weren't meant to become popular. We weren't meant to do anything other than just be a little bit of cheap entertainment. And the fact that it got over and the fans got behind it and the fans still remember it and they loved it, I think is just a tribute to the talent of not me just patting myself on the back, but God love him, Jerry Wall,
right.
Jerry the Wall, Hugh Morris, Chavo. I think it was just a tribute to the talent of the guys that were involved, and I was very proud to be a part of it.
Yeah, you just mentioned him. That's my next question. What are your thoughts and memories of the Wall?
He was a tremendous guy, man. I had never met anyone, you know, that size whose heart was as big as he was. I mean, and that to lose him so soon was, you know, it's another hole in your heart, man. And unfortunately, it seems to happen more often than we would like for it to in this business, and you lose a lot of good friends, and, you know, you never get used to it. No matter how many guys that you lose, you know, when you're on the road like we're on the road, you're traveling, you see each other a lot more often than you see your family.
Yeah.
And if you didn't have each other, you wouldn't have anything. So you become really, really close on the road, man. And when you lose someone like that, it's like losing a member of your family. And I hated it when it happened. I hated it when I got the news. And, you know, unfortunately, all I can do is pray every day and hope I'll get to see him in a better place someday.
Absolutely. Absolutely. When did you start to think WCW is on its decline?
I never saw it.
You never saw it?
People, no, I'll be honest. I'm not going to be completely naive about it. I really thought that when they canceled the Saturday night show, that was a tough move, simply because, to me, if you do have problems and you do want to make some cuts here and there, I don't think that you start with the foundation. And basically, WCW Saturday Night was the foundation of this whole big company.
Right. I mean, way back when, that was the only show they had.
Exactly, and everything else is an extension of that.
Right.
So, in my opinion, if you start making cuts, I say maybe you should cut from 12 pay-per-views down to 6 pay-per-views a year, you know, and then if you've got to cut more than that, well, then maybe Thunder goes or something like that. When you cut the Saturday night show, which is, you know, the mothership, if you will, and I think that you kind of set up everything else to kind of collapse. But, you know, up till then, I think that it was in the back of everybody's mind that, hey, business is down, but it's going to pull through. And we really thought that right up to the end.
Were you at the last Nitro?
No, I was not. Ironically enough, I'd been home for about 3 weeks. They had an idea to bring me in after the MIA thing. They asked me to cut my hair, to lean up as much as I possibly could, and to bring me back as strictly a cruiserweight and give me another strong run there. So I came home. I had lost 30 pounds in about 3 weeks. I cut my hair short, so I looked a lot different, you know, and boom, I sit at home. Believe it or not, even though I was sitting here working for the company, I sit at home and found out about it when all the other wrestling fans found out about it, and that was watching it live on TV.
Oh, wow. What was going through your head when you saw that?
I'll be honest with you. There's that part of you that's shocked, of course, but at the same time, you stay around this business long enough and you realize that anything can and does happen. And so, you know, it's not like you're sitting here going, I can't believe this is happening. Realistically, anything can happen at any time.
Was your contract picked up by the WWE?
Yeah, in fact, ironically enough, a lot of fans are shocked when they hear this, but I was one of the first 24 guys that they signed over. You know, I still have fans coming up to me now going, you know, when are you going to go with WWE? But I was one of the first 24 they signed over.
How come they never, well, I mean, obviously they brought some of the guys on. They brought Shane Helms and guys of that nature on the show, but how come they never seem to put you on the television shows?
Well, I'll be honest with you, James. That's the million-dollar question. I don't have any bitterness towards anybody. I was happy that, you know, I was proud that they thought enough of my talent to bring me over there. But the truth of the matter is, I signed with them. I took a huge pay cut to go up there to try to prove that I want to be part of the team when I could have sat out my contract like a lot of the guys did.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to prove to Vince and them that I really wanted to be a part of that family. And after I signed the new contract with them, they asked me to go to Cincinnati for about 3 weeks, so they were ready to bring me on TV because they loved my character. They loved the Raging Cajun because that's me. You know what I mean? Just an extension of me.
Right.
So they sent me to HWA for what would be 3 weeks, and actually wound up being there for about 9 months.
Huh.
And after 9 months, I just think it became apparent to them that they really didn't see themselves using me anytime soon. And personally, I think it was a situation not where they were after Lash or they wanted to get rid of Lash. I think it was just a situation where they had so much talent that they just didn't have room for everybody. And unfortunately, I was one of the ones that had to move along. I had a guaranteed contract with them for 3 years, so it had to be a mutual, agreement for me to leave, but it still didn't work out. I wish it had. I would love to go back tomorrow, and I would like to think that I'm still young enough that I'll get another opportunity. Only time will tell, though.
How'd you enjoy working under Les Thatcher?
I thought Les was a great guy, and I have a lot of respect for him. The fact that he was able to turn out as much talent as he did was, a testament to what he's been able to accomplish in this business. But at the same time, I just think that it was just an just an overwhelming amount of guys up there, and so much talent and nothing really to do with them. I mean, the truth of the matter is that while I was up there in HWA, you had maybe 24 wrestling superstars up there. I'm not talking about guys under developmental contracts. I'm not talking about just lesson students. I'm talking you had probably 24 guys that had been on TV.
Right.
And, working this little territory. So, that's a great thing, I guess, for the guy that's running the territory. But unfortunately, it's tough to believe that you can't find a place for these guys. But then again, that just proves the point that I was saying earlier, that obviously you had more talent than you had, room to do anything with them.
Last year you did a TNA Explosion taping, and you had a match with Chris Harris. You mentioned also that you were backstage at a couple of TNAs. Do you have any plans of ever going to TNA full-time?
Well, unfortunately, James, the ball's not in my court, the ball's in their court.
Right.
Strangely enough, that's the way this business works a lot of times. You could be the most willing guy in the world, and you can think to yourself, I would like to think that I had some kind of name recognition and that fans would remember me and that sort of thing. But, unfortunately, it was a situation where TNA didn't seem as interested as I was. I live about 4 hours from Nashville, and I went to the shows every week, paying my own expenses for about 8 months straight. And that's why I saw so many people in the back, But and I wrestled several shows for them, shows that I wasn't compensated for, and I wasn't asking for compensation for, to try to show them that I'm ready to get back out there and ready to be a part of that company too. I also did a lot of artwork for them to show them that I was ready to contribute, T-shirt designs and things like that. And wasn't compensated for any of that stuff either. I guess right now there's just not a spot for a Lash LeRoux on TNA roster. Hopefully there's a lot of fans out there that would hate to hear that, but that seems to be their position right now.
You mentioned your art a few times. Where can fans see some of your art?
I always have my stuff up on my website, but I work as a freelance artist. I've been in several different magazines. Probably the coup de grace for me so far as a cartoonist is I've actually had some cartoons published in the Saturday Evening Post.
Wow.
For a cartoonist, is the equivalent of making it to the WWE on WrestleMania. And so they also can see it in the wrestler. I still do the wrestling cartoons, the lashing out cartoons like I did WCW magazine. I'm still doing in the wrestler. And other than that, I'm doing them for several different websites. I do them for several businesses, logos, that sort of thing, T-shirt designs. I also have done, right now, as a matter of fact, when you called, I'm working on a comic book drawing of Hurricane, which will be on his website probably within the next week.
Absolutely. That's really cool. That's absolutely awesome. Where did you go to get schooled in such? Or is this like a natural talent, or is this something that you're going to get trained to do?
I'm completely self-taught, believe it or not. Actually, my cartooning didn't take off really till after I started wrestling. And a lot of these buildings that you wrestle in, in the back in the locker rooms and stuff, they have the big dry erase boards for the professional teams that are drawing up plays and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I took advantage of that, and I used to like to carry around a dry erase marker with me, so I could draw on there and kind of erase it and everything else. And Kurt Hennig, God love him, would sit back there, and of course everyone knows his reputation for being one of the great practical jokesters in our business.
Mm-hmm.
And he would sit back there and kind of, feed me who I should draw and who, here, draw this guy and draw him doing this, and it was for his own amusement. He would just sit there and laugh, and the other guys would see it and they would laugh. And so, long story short, some of the guys for WCW magazine saw it, asked me if I'd start doing the cartoons for the magazine. And through doing the cartoons for the magazine, that was my opportunity once a month to try to teach myself more and more, to the point where I got to where I was doing all the color work digitally in my computer, all that kind of stuff. So now I've, that really, doing it for 5 years or however long in WCW magazine really was a great learning experience for me, because now I'm able to churn out professional work that I've been on the cover of some truck magazines, things like that I've done like just a full artwork for.
So you want to continue doing that and wrestle, or do you want to devote most of your time to the artwork?
Oh, I want to do both, man. And more so wrestle right now than the artwork, simply because the truth of the matter is I can only wrestle for so long before my body breaks down. But by God, I can draw these cartoons till my hand falls off.
Good point. You mentioned your website a few times. What's the website address for that?
It's LashLeRoux.com. That's LashLeRoux.com. And there's a lot of my cartoons on there. There's also, I do a lot of T-shirt design, and not all of them are always Lash LeRoux T-shirts. So I'm going to try to start something in the next few months where I'm going to actually just come up with an off-the-wall T-shirt design, maybe a new T-shirt design every month. Like one of the ones I'm featuring right now is, it just simply says on the front, as generic as can be, future world's champ. Hey, because we all think of ourselves as the next world champ.
Good point. So do you mind if we close out with some word associations? I'll basically say a name, and if you have a story, feel free. If you just have one word, that works too.
Okay, works good for me, James.
All right, the first name on the list is Bill DeMott.
Bill DeMott is probably one of the most underrated wrestlers in this business. The guy's got a heart of gold. There's not anybody in this wrestling, there's not anybody in my life, period, not just in the wrestling business, that I would trust more than Bill DeMott. If I got a problem, I go up to him. Bill has been a brother, he's been a teacher, and he's been a friend to me since day one for me in this business. And, hey, you asked for some funny stories. Bill was actually on the road with me when I got my very first WCW contract, and he seemed fit to, celebrate with me and make sure that I felt like I was a superstar,
Yeah.
Because I had finally arrived, and God love him. He is one of those kind of people that thinks more of the other person that he cares about more than he thinks of himself, and that's the reason why people haven't seen him rise to the top of wrestling. Because the truth of the matter is, wrestling is a very selfish business. And a lot of times the unselfish people are the ones that wind up helping the other guys become more successful, if you know what I mean. And
right.
I think because of the fact that he's been such a talent and he's been so unselfish, I think a lot of people have been able to become very successful people at his expense, and he's the kind of guy that is completely happy with that.
Many people said that he was the locker room leader of WCW. Would you agree with that?
Oh, brother, there's no question whatsoever. The truth is, I've been asked many times in interviews, what was your greatest moment in wrestling? And my greatest moment was not a personal one for me. It was actually when Hugh won the United States title. And the next night on Nitro, the locker room emptied out to congratulate him. And, I stood in the ring beside him. You could feel the emotion. You could feel the pride. And you could see the tears rolling down his face. And they were genuine tears because this wasn't some kind of angle that was booked, or it wasn't something they thought would look great on TV. That was a situation where the wrestlers walked up to the bookers and said, we think that Hugh deserves this kind of recognition and we want to give it to him. And, brother, you can't ask for more in this business. There's no greater accomplishment than to go out there and get that kind of respect of your peers. I hope that I have half that much respect for my peers when I retire.
How about Chavo Guerrero Jr.?
Chavo is another tremendous talent, a tremendous friend. Tagging with him was some of the most fun I had. I learned a lot from him. You're talking about a guy that can not only speak from his own experiences, but when you come from a whole family of wrestlers and athletes like him, you have a lot to offer because you have a whole dynasty of wisdom in your mind when it comes to this business, and that allows him to bring a lot of unique things to the table that other people couldn't, especially not other people his age. So he's such a young guy, but has all this experience because he's been bred into it.
How about somebody that was also in the Misfits in Action, Van Hammer?
Van Hammer was a good guy with a good heart, man, and maybe in a lot of ways was just, too nice for the business. He's just, it wasn't that we didn't enjoy being a part of him being a part of the group. It was just a situation where he seems to be a bit of a loner. He was the nicest guy in the world, but he just seemed to do a little bit better on his own than he did as a group, and that was the reasoning, the reason there for the little bit of the changing of the guard there.
How about somebody, I don't know how much you know about her. I don't know how much you were around her. I know you worked in a match and she managed Chris Candido. How about Tammy Sitch?
I really wasn't around her enough, man, to be able to comment, to say anything other than the fact that, she was always very nice and very respectful to me, and I enjoyed wrestling Chris a lot, that's for sure.
How about, why don't I give you that name then, Chris Candido?
Chris Candido, I think, was a superior wrestler, man. I think he was a super athlete. The truth of the matter is, I don't think he ever reached his full potential in this business, And maybe he'll be one of those kind of guys that'll be given another opportunity. But I really think he could have accomplished a lot more than he did. And that's not to say that I think he fell short or that he didn't accomplish, a lot. He certainly did, but I think that he had all the makings of a main eventer.
How about Big Vito?
Big Vito's a great guy, too. In fact, I just was on a tour with him in Germany. I just got back Sunday, and we were there for about 14 days. And it was good getting to see a familiar face like him, man. Great guy. He's always quick to help out and give a lot of advice to younger guys. And you always have to be thankful and respectful to guys like that.
I only have two more names for you, and one of them is Sting.
Sting was always been a very nice guy to me. He's always been very quick to help out, to give a lot of advice. He's a good-hearted person. He's somebody that it surprises me that he was so successful in this kind of a business like wrestling. And the reason why I say that is he is such a nice guy. He could have very easily been taken advantage of. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah.
But regardless of that, he was so talented that it just made up for it. I'm very surprised that somebody didn't just take advantage of him and make a lot of money at his expense with him just kind of sitting back and just being happy to be part of the team. Because I've never seen him play any kind of a superstar card. You know what I mean?
Right.
I've never seen a Sting walk into a room and say, look, I'm only going to do this, I'm not going to do that. Because I'm Sting, I don't have to do it. That was never his attitude. He was always a team player. He was always happy to be there and happy to be a part of the show. And I always respected that, from him.
How about somebody that I've heard has done that, even though he's my favorite? And you mentioned that he was your favorite as a kid, Hulk Hogan.
I've heard a lot of those stories about Hulk Hogan also, man. I've got to tell you, every time I've been around him, I have been in awe of the fact that he's treated me with the respect that he's treated me with. I mean, you're talking about a guy that's done it all. And of all the people, I'm not selling anybody short in this business, but, I've been fortunate enough to work with all the stars. Everybody from Ric Flair to Sting to Kevin Nash to Austin to The Rock. I've been around all of them.
Right.
And, Hogan was the only guy that I've ever been around that you feel that presence, that aura of being a superstar around him. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
He has that aura about him that he is the best and that he is the legend in this business. And, one thing I have found out about this business, too, just like I was talking about with Sting, you've got a lot of promoters and a lot of people out there that are trying to take advantage of you. So you can't ever fault a guy that, from a business standpoint, has to step up and say, look, we're going to do it like this, or I'm not going to do it at all. Hey, that's a decision that only the guy in that position can make, And I'm not going to ever question that because it's not my business, it's his. You know what I mean?
Right, absolutely.
And nobody can ever take away what he's given to this business. And, you know, you can only thank him and respect him for it.
Okay. I lied, but let me give you one last one here. And you mentioned that you were around Austin, so that made me think of this. How about Vince McMahon? Were you around him at all?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I worked for him.
Right.
I thought that Vince was, without a doubt, I mean, you're around him and you can just tell that he is wrestling. And he's proven that, if by no other means, then he's proven it by the simple fact that he's been a survivor. I mean, you look around and now pretty much everyone else in North America is dead in the wrestling, you know, world except for Vince.
Right.
You know, Vince has been the one surviving company. Hopefully TNA can step up to the plate and that they can be another, you know, great place, because it only helps the wrestlers for there to be more places to wrestle at. But Vince has proven that nobody's on par with him when it comes to actually conducting the wrestling business, and you got to respect that, you know.
Absolutely. Well, we can't thank you enough for your time. I'll go let you watch Bill O'Reilly now. And
actually, I think we may have just missed it. Now, I'm going to finish up this work, man, and I'm going to, you know, start getting ready to go back out again. I've got some shows this weekend coming up. So
where are you working?
I am working in South Bend, Indiana for New Breed Wrestling, and I just got through having a little bit of a lunch break today with Bull Buchanan, a very good friend of mine.
Yep.
And he and I have been talking about opening a wrestling school here in Alabama.
He was actually the first guest we ever had on the show 2 years ago.
Buchanan, really?
Yep, 2 years ago.
I was telling him today how I was doing the interview tonight.
Uh-huh.
He was saying that also. He said he's done it before, and in fact told me to mention to you guys you should call him up and give him an opportunity to do it again.
Cool. Well, we'll have to do that. I mean, we had him on, I guess it was about February of 2003, so yeah, it's been about almost 2 years since we had him on last.
Wow. Well, see, what you're going to have to do is have us both on so we can talk about the wrestling school we're opening.
Excellent. Well, anything you have to promote, you know how to reach us, and we'd be more than happy to help you.
All right. I appreciate it, James.
All right, thank you very much. Stay tuned for more from the interactive interview.
Hey, how you doing? This is Barry Darso. You better be watching and listening to 3 Count Wrestling, or else I'm going to kick your stinking teeth in.
Welcome back to the interactive interview with a special surprise guest. How you doing, Missy? Missy Hyatt's on the line.
Hi there, Missy Hyatt for Flirty Wrestling. Remember that. I paid a lot of money to have that copyrighted, so...
Who'd you have to pay to get...
Use that, okay?
All right, the First Lady of Wrestling, Missy Hyatt. How did you, who did you have to pay to copyright that?
My attorney.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, Missy Hyatt's been copyrighted forever, but First Lady's, God, I think back how many years ago I copyrighted that. You're making me, like, feel old, but it's been copyrighted over 10 years. Maybe, yeah, sort of, kind of.
Well, that's cool. At least you didn't have to battle Vince for it, so.
Yeah, that's true. But see, I own it. That's why he's never used it.
So, a lot of people have been asking me, and I get this one question from this guy who's got an unhealthy obsession with Francine, if you ask me, Mark Barnes.
I have an unhealthy, you know, fascination with her, too, but, you know, we can talk about that later. What?
He wants to know what the status is of the site and when it will be back up.
Oh, yes, MissyHyatt.tv or MissyHyattTV.com, Missy and Francine Exposed.tv. We got so many names, but they all go to the same site. It is being worked on. We found this extraordinary webmaster, and he's in Germany. His name's Denny, and he put together the most interactive, coolest looking site you've ever seen. And we're waiting on these servers. Everything's done. We have redone a whole new photo shoot. We've done so many videos. We got this hot chick, Gigi, who's a friend of mine, joined us for some really funny stuff we did.
Was she one of the ones that was on an earlier episode?
No.
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 Okay.
She might have been when I was down at the Cheetah, but I'm not sure. She's a redhead.
The one
we got a brunette, redhead, blonde.
The one I'm thinking about was one of the people that worked with you when you were doing the dancing.
Yeah, she is.
Maybe it was.
Might be. I'm not sure. You know what? You're just gonna have to pay your $9.99. Okay.
All right.
Anyway, yeah, it should be up in about a week and a half. I talked to Denny a couple days ago, and he said 2 weeks. So now it should be like about a week and a half. So everybody just keep a look. And what you got to do is make sure when you go to it, it's refreshed because you still might have the old one on. But we still have the old one up, but it's not taking members. But the new one's going to be taking members, and it's just going to be awesome. Plus, I'm going to have some sneaky stuff on there. I'm going to have some of my own personal pictures I've taken throughout the years, and of certain people, and it'll be fun.
Anybody that we know from the wrestling business?
All the people that you know.
Oh, good.
Yeah, in compromising positions, maybe.
Wow.
Kind of.
That's interesting
sounding. I tell you, then I'm telling the whole world. So, there's got to be a reason people go, oh my God, I can't believe she did that.
Well, anybody that read your book knows that things will pop up there that wouldn't be expected. So
exactly, and it's so much fun. We did a lot of great video this time. It's not just so much me hanging out in my house, talking to my dog, which I think people started thinking I was Jeffrey Dahmer or something. But at least he wasn't talking back, or I wasn't crediting him talking back to me.
Well, that's what the one guy kept asking. He's like, is Francine going to be involved in a lot of the new videos and things like that?
She's in so much more of the video.
Okay.
A lot. She's got her own camera now.
Oh, that's good.
I get to the camera, and she took it to wrestling. She took it to the ladies' wrestling show. She's taking it everywhere with her.
Yeah, that brings up an interesting question, and I'm not sure because I'm sure there's a lot of rumors about you out there. But there was a rumor that I read, I think it was about 4 months ago. There's something about you getting arrested at a wrestling show and New Jack flipping out at you, and if there's any, I don't even know what it's all about.
I never got arrested. As a matter of fact, in Florida, you can check because there's a lot of people that have been arrested in Florida.
Yeah.
You might be getting anyway. No, it was funny. Jasmine St. Clair pulled the best rib on me ever in ribs. I mean, this has to go down as the #1 rib in the business, at least of the century. Well, the Steiners locked my dog in a locker. That was good, but this is even better. She calls me up. She said, Missy, the girl didn't show up. You got to come to Miami. And this is like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, right? 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And I'm like, okay, and War Memorial. I remember being there kind of vaguely. Okay, I jump in my car. I'm in my Porsche, 90 miles an hour, right? 100 miles an hour. I'm driving to get there. I show up a little late. I have my bags. I run through the door. Okay, I'm here to see Jasmine. They're like, who? At least there was a wrestling show going on. I felt so retarded. I kind of hid my bag. I'm like, and then the guy that was running the show, and I don't even know whose show it was or what the name of the company was or anything. He goes, someone said that they had talked to you that you were going to come down and watch the show and see if you wanted to come and work with us. And I'm like, I didn't hear anything about that. Jasmine St. Clair called me. And then I called her back. I was like, Jasmine, I'm going to beat you up. I'm going to find, and I was joking with her, and she so totally took it serious. And I was so joking with her. Now she's all mad at me. She thinks that I was really mad. But I started laughing when I got back to my car, and because the next night I was in Ocala, I was laughing. I was like, that has to be the best. That goes down. If I ever write out a book, that goes down as the #1 rib in the entire world. Yeah, because, I was all nervous. I'm always nervous to get there on time and stuff. But then New Jack was there. And New Jack, I saw him before his match, and he's like, hey, how's it going? Because we worked together a couple of times in Tampa, and I let him stay at my house, and we were friends, and nothing happened. He was going around telling people he slept with me, and all this gross stuff. And I'm not racist, anything like that. He's just not my type of guy.
Right.
Too old, too chunky. Just not my type of guy. And, anyway, he cursed me out, and I was just standing. I was watching the show. The guy's like, watch the show. So I was watching the monitor. And New Jack comes back, and he's like, that fucking bitch, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I'm looking around, like, me? Huh? Yeah.
Right.
One of those things. And you know what's so bad is I had a CD. It was in the car. I was going to give it to him. And I didn't get to give it to him. And, he just cursed me out. And, of course, my mouth had to get in there going, at least I've drawn money in the business and you haven't. And so I left, and the guy's like, well, New Jack's here, and if New Jack doesn't, want you, sorry, And I'm like, okay, whatever. Whatever. But I don't know why I would have gotten arrested for getting cursed out.
Yeah. That's it. I kind of doubted it.
I thought it was funny. I laughed my ass off that New Jack had to curse me out. he was like getting in my face, like he was like some tough guy or something.
Yeah, well.
Ooh. I was thinking to myself, big tough guy, got a yellow girl who opened up. I mean, I have opened up my house to many other wrestlers to stay at my house, crash at my house, since the beginning of time. I mean, Paul Lee lived with me and Eddie in the 80s.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean, just guys slept on my futon in New York, in Atlanta, Joe Gomez, you know, any of the young guys just starting out, they don't have money for a hotel and stuff.
Right.
So, but, you know, that's what you get for being nice to a person.
Well, yeah, we had our own run-in with New Jack. He pretty much threatened to kill me, bring me back to life again, and kill me again, so.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he said that I told everyone that he raped me. And I was like, you didn't even touch, I'm thinking myself, you never even touched me. Why would I go around telling everybody that? It's like so funny. And then I had other people, Tammy or something, or my ex-partner, would play Tammy against me. And he had Tammy, for some reason, Sonny, she hates my guts. She thinks I'm the one that messed up everything, but it's, you know, I have all the paperwork because we were going out, you know, just turning everything, going after him for all the fraud and stuff that he did. But, you know, she hated me. And I don't know if she still does, but, you know, it's the same kind of thing. Like that. Just people, you know, do those kind of things to other people, which is ridiculous.
Does she still have hard feelings toward you?
I don't know. I haven't talked to her. And that's my best friend. I love that girl more than anything in this world. And that guy, my other friend Ginger, who's not in the business, who I introduced to him, he was dating her. I had no idea he was married with 2 kids, and he was dating her, going, I love you, I want to marry you. He, don't talk to Melissa, da-da-da-da, she's always messed up, da-da-da, you know, just, and then he would say to me, oh, she's a crack, this and that. I mean, you know, he liked controversy, you know,
right.
Getting people to be friends or something. I don't know what his deal was, but, you know, and that's really bad. But at least I know there's this one guy who's got a website, and he's like, what Sal did to Missy and Hammy, you know, I hate this guy, and, you know, he really screwed him over and stuff, so. But karma is a wonderful thing in life.
Did you want to mention what you have on Sal?
I don't know.
You don't want to talk about that?
No, you'll get it in the email.
Oh, okay, good.
I didn't do it.
Oh, okay.
Not me. Who's talking about? Milo, my dog?
No.
I think he's got it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, I got you.
Yeah. I think it's Milo.
All right.
And he doesn't talk. Only he does talk more in the ring. You know, he's part of Rural Star Enterprises.
Okay.
Have you seen any of the Bang TV?
Bang TV. Very little, I'll be honest.
Let me tell you, lately it's gotten great.
Has it?
Oh my gosh, Adam Windsor's one of the best workers in this business. And with Eric and me, and then Milo, my dog, his big red diamond-studded collar, we all come out to the ring, and we just wreak havoc on those poor Ocala people. But it's fun. I have the best time of my life. It's like every 3 weeks. Best. It reminds me of being back, you know, working at World Class and stuff like that, UWF. It's just wonderful. And they have the best school, and I can't even say how great it is there.
Well, I always see the results, but I never see the shows, so I don't know.
Well, you know, I'm the women's champion. It's taken 19 years for me to be in this business to finally get a daggum belt.
No, that's not true. Didn't you win a belt in Canada or something?
Oh, yeah, but that was a guy's belt. You know, it was kind of an accident, kind of like, you know, they all fought and I just ran in and got the cover. This one, the club really beat me up pretty good, too. I was hurting on the way home, on that drive home. I really took, like snap mares and things like that, stuff I never thought I could do.
Do you want to start getting involved in the women's wrestling business part of it, or do you still want to be the valet that you've been over the years?
No, I'll just stick valet, please.
Don't want to
as you get older, it's called osteoporosis. And your bones don't, like, go work the way they used to, so.
Yeah.
Not that I'm really, that old, but still. I'll just stick with, the manage. I want to go to Japan and manage the hottest guy in Japan. Steve Carino. That's what I want to do.
Now you get along with Steve now?
Oh, we've been getting along for a long time now.
Oh, okay, good. Okay.
He was all when I yelled at him, I liked him right after I got done yelling at him. And I would send, someone would say, Steve's going to be at the show. I would tell him, I said, hey. And he thought I didn't like him for the longest time. But we've worked together, and I've managed him a couple of times down here in Florida. And we've had a blast. We've had a good time.
That's good.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
That's good to know. Well, once again, it's MissyHyatt.tv.
Yep.
And we'll be sure to keep
Everybody tune in, check it out. You can even, there's a free section you can go and check out the free stuff. But it's only $9.99. And every day it's going to be updated. That you get to see a video. And the video now, I think you've got a different server that a lot of people that would dial up. It's going to go faster. Because we had a lot of complaints last time that it takes so long, to get it to load and everything. And that's if you have dial-up.
Well, at one point I did have dial-up when I first checked out the site, and it took me about 12 hours to download one of them one time.
No, not 12 hours.
Well, my connection was really, really bad. But now I have cable, so.
Yeah, like a little gerbil connection, like in a wheel connecting it. 12. Oh my God, because mine, it connected within, and I have Roadrunner, and it was like 30 seconds. And it's there.
Right, and that's what mine is now, because I finally got the cable connection, which is good.
Isn't it great? And now, after you've been on cable for a while, right?
Yeah.
And you go somewhere with dial-up.
Yeah.
Do you start to bang the keyboard?
Oh, I bang the keyboard anyway.
Yeah, I've gone through 3, and thank God they're cheap. Walmart, $6.99. But I mean, you're like keep pressing the enter button, and why is it
taking so long? Right.
Yeah, you're like we get so, as Americans, we get so used to that.
Yeah, I have computer rage.
Huh?
I have computer rage. I throw my keyboard often, so.
I don't do that. I just kind of hit mine a lot. But I've learned to save, because by doing that, when you're doing a chemistry report or something.
Yeah, you don't want to lose it.
Yeah, I lost part of mine, and I was really upset, and then you have to start all over again.
And that happened to me last week. I was doing something. I'm opening my own official website for a design class that I'm opening, and I wrote out my entire biography, and it was like 30 pages long. And the thing started freaking out, and I made the mistake of just putting my fist on the keyboard, and all of a sudden everything was gone. And
Yep. Well, mine, check this out. I'm sitting there on the laptop, almost at the end. I'm writing the conclusion part or the discussion part. Kick the cord.
Oh.
And everybody's like, don't you know to save every once in a while? I'm like, well, I do now.
That's a good point. Very good point.
So, everybody out there, so check out MissyHyatt.tv. or MissyHyattTV.com. I don't know. I bought so many different versions, .net and stuff like that. Missy and Francine, I bought so many different ones, but they all go to the same website. So everybody check it out. Francine's hot. She's looking great. I almost got her talked into showing just a little bit of nipple.
Well, we'll look forward to that.
Huh?
I said, we'll look forward to that then.
Yeah, well, no, not this time. I think it's just a hint, maybe. You're going to have to look sideways on the computer.
Okay. I'll take your word for it.
Okay.
Just one last question, and,
Sure.
Well, 2 last questions, actually.
You can ask me as many as you like.
Oh, that's good to know. How is Sasha Girl?
Sasha Girl passed away.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. About 3 months ago. I still don't have her ashes in my house.
I'm sorry.
She was 17.
Yeah, I know she was up there. That's why I asked.
Yeah, she lived a long life, and she's up there with Eddie. And, it was sad. You know, I said I'd never have another dog, and I kind of stole Milo from the owner because the guy that had him beat him up and was really mean to my little Jack Russell. And she had gotten so old and frail that she wouldn't want to get up on the bed, and it was hard. You know, you could pet her, but, you know, she had one eye and she was deaf, and I was sitting on the couch. I'd wave my hand and get her to come to me, and I'd pet her for a little bit, but she kind of didn't really want to be messed with, and she was so bony. Poor little thing. And so it was good that I had Milo, because I think it would have hurt me inside a lot more, not having, you know, him to take care of.
Yeah.
So, but I said I'd never have another dog, but I do.
And the final question I have for you is, NWA TNA is running a pay-per-view, and just curious, since they're now running almost completely out of Florida, if you'd ever consider working for them.
Oh, I'd love to work for them. Yeah.
Has there been any contact?
Huh?
Has there been any contact either way?
You know, I was going to go down there and see one of their shows, and I talked to somebody there, and they were going to shows, and I talked to somebody there, and they were going to leave me passes and stuff, but then I had to take a calculus exam.
Right.
So it was like, okay, you know, so I went and took my exam instead, and because I didn't want to have to do a makeup, because then they kind of put your, you know, grade lower.
Right.
I don't know. I might go over there and check it out, but I know that Dutch Mantel is like one of the guys there, and Dutch doesn't like women in the business.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Well, they have a few. Very few, but...
Yeah. But, you know, I think girls, I don't think you need a whole lot, but I sure think you need a few. Yeah.
They just released, the WWE just released almost half their female roster, it seems.
Did they really? And I was talking to a guy at the doctor's office today, and he said all it is bra and panty matches. And every guy I talked to, I said, do you want to see a lady fight as a man, like wrestle as a man, or do you want to see him like cat fight? Like, oops, it's going to be. And every man that I talk to, it's cat fight.
Well,
I'd rather see girls, you know, than girls trying to wrestle like guys.
Yeah, the only two that they have left, it seems to me, is going to be Trish Stratus and Lita. The other two are pretty much gone. The other ones are pretty much gone, it seems.
Even Stacy's
She's still there, but she's holding on by a string because they released Test, who's her boyfriend. And apparently she's upset with them over it, so... Because he's hurt, and they released him when he was hurt and said, give us a call when you're better.
I tell you what, she's such a pretty girl.
Yeah.
I mean, she's such a pretty girl. I mean, they had a lot of really pretty girls up there. Who else did they release?
They released Jazz, Gail Kim, who was the Korean girl. Who else did they release? They released so many of them. Nydia, she was the new one that was original.
I think she was a real pretty one, too. I haven't watched the show in so long because I don't understand it. There's no storylines anymore. You know, I'm a dummy, and I believe it's supposed to be a soap opera, so I don't understand matches that just go out and they go high spot, and they're done.
Right.
Yeah, that's confusing to me.
Absolutely. I'm with you. I'm with you all the way. I mean, we're on the same page when it comes to that stuff. So.
Yeah, I mean, I was riding with Bill after coming back from the Ocala show, and I even said something during our match, the 6-man match. I'm like, we just did 6 finishing moves, like back 8 years ago, finishing moves. You know, in the first 10 minutes of the match. I'm like, you know, you're gonna have to bring a gun out and shoot someone to get us in.
Absolutely. We had Jake Roberts on about a year ago, and well, he talked about you, of course, but
Did he really?
Well, we actually asked him about him. Oh no, he didn't say anything about it. He just said he was one of your first teachers.
He was.
He was
my first boyfriend.
Yeah. Well, he always keeps saying that, you know, the guys, they don't understand what a finishing move is, that a finishing move should be the end of the match. So I agree with him 100% on that.
Right, and I don't think other people should use other people's moves.
No.
Finishing moves as a high spot.
Absolutely not, otherwise it takes away the effect.
Yeah. You know, and you see these fabulous things, and it should be a pin. I mean, you know, we're only human.
Right.
You got to think of it like that. We're people, we're human. If that happened, really, you know, to you, come on, hello. So that's how I think of it. So, you know, old school ways of me, and I'm sounding like one of them old timers. Just call me, I don't know, who's somebody really, really old. I don't know. I'm like a Luthez or whatever. Back in my day. No, you know, I just talked to Jake not that long ago, too.
Yeah, he seems to be doing pretty good, actually.
Yeah, he's in England, but now he's back in the States.
He moved back?
Yep.
I'm surprised.
I got a scoop for you, didn't I?
Well, actually, yes, because my partner is running shows over in England, in the UK, and he wanted to bring him in for a couple shows, and he couldn't get a hold of him, so that explains why he moved.
Yeah, he's back in the States. I don't know how he got in, but he's here.
Oh, well.
That's what he told me. Yeah, it was nice to talk to him, and he was so clean, coherent, and it was just it was wonderful. And he was like my first real boyfriend I ever had in my life. Plus, he was booking Georgia at the time. And, you know, I learned about wrestling from him. I mean, he's one, like you said, first teachers. He's the smartest mind in the business.
Absolutely. Well, we can't take you enough of your time, and once again, I think we said this before, but we'll say it again. Anytime you want to come on and promote anything, we'll be more than happy to do it for you.
Well, you know, anytime you need somebody to talk to, or you know, you need someone to, you need a guest, or you want someone to talk to, or you want, you know, my warped opinion, I am very happy to give it.
Oh, wow. That's a very nice offer. Thank you very much.
Okay, you have a wonderful evening, afternoon, night, day, whatever.
Well, I think it's evening now, but okay. Stay tuned for more from the interactive interview. Welcome back to the interactive interview, the show with the two most burnt-out hosts in the history of broadcasting. So you know, I'm sitting here at 5 o'clock in the morning. I just finished up watching Mr. Ed, and I'm talking to Mr. Edler.
You are, and Mr. Edler's burnt out, and tired, and got a headache, funnily enough.
Oh, yeah. So we're both doing good. Even though it's noon over there in England, Daniel probably hasn't been to bed yet.
So
A
few hours sleep.
Yeah, so we're doing real good. We're doing real good. Yeah, we're doing good.
Yeah.
So, speaking of doing real good, have you heard anything, or I don't even know, because I know you guys get it for free in the UK. Have you seen anything or read the results of Victory Road?
You see, that we don't get TNA pay-per-views for free.
Okay.
We don't get them at all.
You don't get them at all? Wow, that hurts.
It sucks, but you know.
Not even on the wrestling channel?
Nope, not yet. The coverage of TNA on the wrestling channel is 6 months behind because people, you know, TNA didn't want people being able to get the pay-per-views and stuff for free in the old days.
Right.
When they had to pay for them in America.
Right.
Which I thought was a bit silly. Okay. You know, fair enough, whatever. I should really catch up now, but it's kind of hard to catch up and, you know, jump 6 months ahead.
Yeah, they'd have to run pretty much every day for months, you know, for a couple of months.
And, yeah, so we don't get it, but I have read, you know, the results, and I have sent a video of the last 6 minutes.
It was really, I thought the show was actually very well done. I do think, by reading the results, people are a little bit too complimentary towards AJ versus Petey Williams. I thought it was a good match. I was into it, but it wasn't. Everybody's saying it was a match of the year candidate. Well, maybe, but I don't think it was number one.
I don't think it can be. It was only 10 minutes long, less than that.
Yeah.
I think it's possible for it to be a match of the year candidate.
No, not really. It was a good match. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like. We've had AJ on. He's in the archives, and Petey Williams impresses me. That finisher's sick looking. It looks really cool. But other than that, it wasn't a match of the year candidate. It was good, but I don't think it was that good. The pay-per-view itself was good. It had that feel to it that TNA has not had since they went off the Wednesday pay-per-views, and that is the feeling that it is a company that wants to compete. I like Impact. I watch it every week. I try to tape it every week, though sometimes I tape it and I forget to label it. And so one day I'm going to go through all my tapes. And I literally sat down the other day with a box of tapes, and I have things I've not labeled from 2000. Like, I found Judgment Day 2000 that I taped and never labeled. I found Nitro and Thunders from 2000 that I taped and never labeled. So probably about 5 years from now, I'll be finding my impact. Yeah, I'll be finding my impact. All right, so back to Victory Road. I thought it was a good show. There was nothing I thought really lagged. By the way, did you notice who they signed that the internet seemed to have not picked up on?
Billy Gunn?
Well, but there's somebody that's been on our show that they signed, and Johnny B. Bad, Mark Merrow.
Oh, yes, of course, yeah.
He just showed up out of nowhere. I saw him. I'm watching one day, and I see him show up, and I'm like, what the hell is this? But it's good because Mark is obviously a talented athlete, and I think you'll agree with me. He was probably one of the nicer guys we've had on.
Okay.
I do want to ask this question, and if you're posting in the forums right now, mark my words that I asked this question. What race is he a member of? We've had this discussion. I think you and I may have had this in private. I'm not sure. But I'm trying to figure out if he's African American or just happens to have olive-colored skin. Post your votes on 3swforums.com.
Yeah, that's a toughie, because I don't know. It's...
Well, I always thought he was partially African American because he was doing the Little Richard angle, and obviously Little Richard's black. So, who knows?
I don't know. It's not really the kind of thing you can ask either, is it?
No, you can't say, so Johnny, are you black? No, that's a good way to get hung up on. Yeah. So, also, other TNA news, as you just mentioned, Billy Gunn, and I don't think we've even commented on this, all the releases that the WWE have done over the past couple. That's shocking. That tells you right then and there where the status of the company is. They're either... Well, here's the thing. I'm reading everybody saying that they're having money problems, and that's why. I don't think they're having money problems. I think they're just starting to realize that there's no reason to keep some of these guys under contract. You know, that's just kind of like dead weight.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose they're probably realizing that, okay, we've got all these guys we've brought in. You know, they're on big contracts now, but we're not really using them. They're on these big contracts, but we can get people from WCW on much smaller contracts.
Absolutely, and they're only on... I mean, half the guys that they had are only being used, if that, on the B shows, such as Velocity or Heat.
Exactly. So there's no need to have, these high contract people just running around the feet. So.
But the funny part is, the them dropping all these guys has stopped since TNA has stepped up. And TNA really has stepped up. They went from the pay-per-view to the best damn sports show period, and then they did some kind of an invasion yesterday. Have you read about this?
Yes, I have.
Does it make any sense to you? Because it doesn't make any sense to me. Nearest I can tell, WWE, for whatever reason, decided that they were going to get dressed up as the two gangs from the West Side Story. I don't know why. Maybe for a promo. Tracy decides to show up with a tray of cookies, walk through, and then Abyss runs by holding balloons. And somehow this pissed off Vince McMahon. Yeah,
apparently at the same time that TNA were recording their Impact, WWE were also in the same place recording their Royal Rumble commercial. So I haven't actually seen it, but is that what happened?
From what I understand, they sent the guy that does TNA's, I think it's...
David Shahidi.
Yeah, I think he's their costumes and something to do with production. He used to work for Vince, and he knew where they were going to be, so they took Tracy and Abyss. Tracy had cookies, Abyss had balloons, and just somehow crashed the party. Now, I don't know who this impresses. Because, frankly, I think it'll be a silly visual seeing Abyss with the balloons. Because Abyss does not seem like the balloon. He seems more like a cotton candy kind of guy to me. But, yeah.
I mean, can we talk about Impact? Is that allowed? Because, I mean, I know you haven't seen it yet.
I haven't seen it. Go ahead.
Do you know what happens?
About Kevin Nash?
About everything in general, really. Because I know, obviously, you know, and we all know about Randy Savage now no longer working with TNA.
And the rumor is he's actually maybe back with him already, so who knows?
All right. Well, I mean, that's a quick turnaround, but yeah.
Well, and if he is back with him, I hope they're smart enough to realize what they should have done in the first place. Sign him to a contract that says, I will be at this many shows.
Exactly. Yeah, and then, of course, they got Kevin Nash and Scott Hall in now, it's a regular thing.
Did you hear about them, though? There was something funny that happened with them.
Go ahead.
They sent Nash out to the ring to cut a 3-minute promo. Nash gets to the ring, pretty much says, on the air, while they're recording, well, nobody really gave me a script, so I'm just going to wing it, and he proceeded to talk for 15 minutes.
Oh, dear.
Now, I don't know about you, but I have had a speech class in my day, and usually the problem is I don't have enough to say.
Exactly.
I can't imagine what he would go out there and talk about for 15 minutes. And if you're sitting backstage, at what point do you just say, pull the plug? You know? It's good to see Nash back, and he's back in rare form, apparently.
I mean, apparently I read that he wants to work with AJ Styles.
And that'd be good. I've heard some people, our good friend Chris Yandick, and I had a good discussion about this, and how they would work the match, because AJ has worked with bigger men, but he's worked with bigger men that bump, such as Abyss. So what could AJ do with somebody who really doesn't bump? And then we started talking about his matches with Kevin Nash's matches with Rey Mysterio. So we're trying to figure out exactly how they would work it out. I wouldn't cancel it out, because AJ is a better worker than... I mean, he's not just a high flyer. Mysterio is pretty much a high flyer, and AJ somehow is able to do some power moves to Abyss. And Abyss is probably about the same weight as Nash.
Yeah, I'd say Nash probably something a bit heavier.
Yeah, Nash is probably at about 4 or 5 inches on him height-wise, so...
Yeah.
Let's see.
So.
It'll be interesting, but I really hope that when they air this thing, they leave some of the parts in when he's rambling. Because I'd imagine that some of it had to be him rambling if it's 15 minutes long.
Yeah.
I guess I'll find out in about 12 hours or so.
Exactly. Do you mind if we talk about the other major thing from Impact?
Sure, go ahead.
The debut of DDP.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, that I don't even read yet. That's big.
Sorry to spoil it for you. That's why I wasn't sure if to talk about it or not, because, you would have, watched it.
Now, I was keeping up with all the things, and I was getting all the information ahead of time, so I actually somehow found out about 20 minutes before he actually showed up on the pay-per-view that Savage was there. So that's weird. And it's good to hear that DDP is there. Hopefully they sign him to some kind of a deal.
Yeah, I mean, he comes in and gets involved with Raven, so...
Well, I don't understand, and Yandick had this idea, and I will give him 100% credit. They should feud Piper with Raven. They're keeping Piper around, we'll put him with Raven. Because in WCW, they tried to have that feud in 1999, and everything was so chaotic that it just got dropped. But I think that would have been a good, interesting feud.
Yeah. I suppose that if they're going to keep Piper around properly, they have to put him in some sort of feud.
Yeah.
At the moment, he's just kind of there doing nothing.
They tried to do something, and I wanted to make this point too. People don't realize that it's not only what Jerry the King Lawler and Jim Ross say that makes them great, it's also what they don't say that makes them great. And that is to say that on Victory Road, Piper did the Piper's Pit. They had Jimmy Snuka show up. He hands Snuka the coconut, and he's saying, "Hit me." Now, if this was Jim Ross and the King, they'd shut up and let the two tell the story. Mike Tenay and Don West could not find it within themselves
to shut up whenever there was dead air time. You know, do you think he's going to hit him, Don? Oh, no, this is the greatest ever. Shut up. Shut up. You know, because now, because I'm thinking to myself as I'm watching this, if this was WWE done, for the promos to recap, you'd hear Piper screaming, "Hit me!" and the echo. But you couldn't get that because they wouldn't shut up long enough for them to get that. That's just my complaint.
I mean, I haven't seen it, so I can't comment on that.
Yeah. Well, I love I love Mike Tenay, and I think Don West does his job, but I just think they have to set it up properly, and they need to know when to talk and when not to talk for the drama. You know, let people think for themselves, I guess. So, yeah, again, though, Victory Road was good. I don't know if that segment made a lot of sense. In that Kid Cash hit Sanjay with the coconut. They carry him out on a stretcher. The thing is, they're thinking that he might have brain damage. And then, of course, this match was recorded beforehand, but they never actually said this. Sanjay's in the Ultimate X match 3 days later. So, they tried to play it up like it was recorded after Victory Road, but if they, that's a hole in the continuity.
I get you. Oh, yeah, because, what was that recorded for?
What'd you say?
That match, what was it recorded for?
The Ultimate X?
Yeah.
They ran 2 back-to-back primetime. It's primetime here, I'm not sure if it is on the East Coast. Specials on Wednesday and Thursday night with the Best Damn Sports Show.
Oh.
So basically they're hour and a half, pretty much hour and a half Impact shows that just happen to have the guys from the Best Damn Sports Show, like Tom Arnold and the other guys who I don't remember. The Somewhat Hot Girl and the black guy who used to be a basketball player and the white guy who looks like Piper when he screams. You can tell I'm a real big fan of this show.
I've never seen it before, so you went on me.
Yeah, but that's on Fox Sports Net also, which is the same channel that carries Impact. So they ran it on. They actually probably would have been on against SmackDown. So I'm curious to see what the ratings show. I mean, if they even got somewhat around half, I think I consider it a victory.
Ooh, that's good. That was great night.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And then before I close out, we got to talk about Survivor Series. But definitely Survivor Series coming up this week, and it seems to me like things are coming together for the show. This is one of the times, though, that I think they needed more time. Because they came off what I consider to be a highly successful pay-per-view in Taboo Tuesday. And it seems to me like things were somewhat rushed in terms of, especially for the main event at Survivor Series from Raw. As for SmackDown, I think they're doing the best they can. This is probably the better build-up they've had for a pay-per-view in the past couple months anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully that'll translate and SmackDown will get the better share this month. But as I said, the main event world title match from SmackDown anyway is Booker T against JBL.
Okay.
So, any predictions?
I'll stick with JBL to keep it.
I'd like to hear that. I'd like to have that happen. I'd like him to hold it until WrestleMania and have my idea of Hollywood Hogan at WrestleMania in Hollywood. But I don't know if that's going to happen or not. There's always talk that they're going to happen, but then again, Hogan was backstage at Impact or Victory Road, whatever, so who knows? Who really knows, Anything can happen. Next up, we have the classic Survivor Series match from Raw with Triple H, Batista, Edge, and Gene Snitsky against Chris Jericho, Chris Benoit, Randy Orton, and for the life of me, I can't remember. Oh, Raven. Maven. There we go. Maven. Like I said, folks, we're a little bit out of it this morning. Okay. So, yeah, that should be a good 8-man tag. The winner, of course, gets the control of SmackDown, of Raw for 4 weeks. The winning team each gets their night controlling Raw. So, that should be interesting to see how they do that. They're playing up Snitsky and Edge against him, and they pretty much did the same with Batista, though he never had the altercation.
Yeah.
So, should be interesting. I honestly think that the faces will go over.
Sure.
Yeah, but I don't know how they're going to do it. It just seems to me like the situation would warrant a good guy victory. Because Bischoff's not in control. Bischoff's kind of turning face. Bischoff will be gone, so it says to me that whatever happens, it's not going to go well for Triple H, and that would probably more lean towards the good guys winning. And it would help Randy Orton, because Randy Orton's got to get the belt off Triple H for him to ever get a title shot again.
I reckon that it will still be the heels that go over.
Say that one more time?
I still think it'll be the heels that go over.
Okay. So we have different points of view there.
Yeah.
Then there's another why do I keep saying SmackDown? Well, it is the SmackDown Classic match. But I don't, for the life of me, know who's in the match. I know Carlos Caribbean Cool's there, and he's going to get it out through an injury.
Yep.
So let's see how he does with that. I think I'd probably get him out of there quickly. If he's hurt, you don't want to hurt him worse. So, since it is an elimination match, you can just have him get beat quick.
Yeah. But, John Cena's back for it.
Is he?
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to be the mystery partner.
Yep.
All right, he'll get the win. Let's just say Cena's team, and I don't even know who's on the team, is going to win. And that's how closely I paid attention to SmackDown roster. Then there's a 4-way Cruiserweight Championship match, and that's got Chavo Guerrero, Rey Mysterio, and somebody else challenging for the Cruiserweight title against Spike Dudley. Is it Billy Kidman? It's Billy Kidman.
Yeah, Billy Kidman.
Yeah, I'd like to see Kidman go over. I just think it's time to give it back to Kidman.
Kidman's my pick for the next cup.
Is it?
Don't ask me why. I think that after he's done with this little mini push.
Do you want to bet? And I said this to you online. You didn't think there was much of a chance. My bet still is with Stacy Keibler.
I would put money on it not being Stacy Keibler.
Well, look at it this way: Rodney Mack and Jazz both fired. And there was somebody else that had a boyfriend and they got fired too. So the history would go with it. And as far as I know, she's still with Test. So.
I don't know. I can't see it happening.
Well, who knows? And we'll just have to wait and see. But I don't even know if they're going to release anybody else. Who knows?
I'll give it to you. You did say on the last interview that we wouldn't see Test on WCW again.
Yep, and I was right. Well, for now I'm right. Who knows? 10 years from now he might show up for the Hall of Fame. So, who knows?
That'd be slightly random. Test turning up for the Hall of Fame.
Yep. Well, who knows? In 10 years they probably will have inducted 6 people each year, so they'll be running low on stars.
And don't forget that Scott Steiner's contract is now expired.
Oh, so we can give him a call.
Yeah. And in addition to that, he's on the big USA Pro huge show they're doing. I think sponsored by Cause.
Did they actually buy a ring for this one?
I don't know.
USA Pro has been renting a backyard wrestling league ring for the past 3 years.
Oh, good.
Yeah, and It's bumpy, and it almost killed Simply Luscious one time.
All right.
She took a powerbomb on it, and because it was so lumpy, she hit her head, and she laid there with her eyes open for about a minute until somebody realized, oh shit, I think she's dead, and got her help. Oh my god. That was a good chance at Victory Road. It was during the Hardy-Jarrett match. This massive ladder they brought out just happened to land on Scott Hall. So Hall's just laying under it, and crowds start chanting, "You killed Scott Hall! You killed Scott Hall!" So yeah, Victory Road was good. I like, from what I saw, USA Pro. If you ever read their message board, they have a lot of scumbags on there.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, and they've got Steiner and Steiner reuniting.
Reunited, it feels so good.
WCW was run. I'm not sure when, but it's the first time in a long time. And they've got other people like Vader and Piper, Mick Foley, and all these different big names on the show. So sounds like it's going to be a big one.
Well, that's good, and I just really hope that they actually, like I said, buy a ring this time. Because
but it's sponsored by Cause, so
this sounds pretty big. And USA Pro at one point, it always was the high class indie, with shows that ran about 68 hours long.
Yeah.
They started somewhere around 2 in the afternoon, and they were done by about 8 the next morning. No, in all seriousness, most of them did let out around 2 in the morning.
I know. It's really the time they take.
Which I was talking to many people backstage, and it turns out that most people left by then. Most people, 11 o'clock rolls around, they're halfway through the card, they're still seeing the same opening match guys on there, so they leave. This is why things like Jerry Jarrett have to be appreciated, because he knows what goes where. He knows this is the first match, this is the second match, this is the third match, and here's why. Little things like that make sense.
I get you.
Yep. Back to Survivor Series.
Just a small thing. At a show over here last weekend. Big show, drew about 1,000 people. I did their debut show because it was only the second show, and they did one of the old school marketing tricks.
What's that?
At the main event before the interval.
The main event before what?
Before the interval.
Ah.
Do you know why?
Why?
To maximise the Polaroid money at halftime.
Wow. Pretty good idea.
Definitely worked as well, because it was D'Lo Brown against the newest WWE talent, Virgil.
Virgil?
Virgil. His name's Paul Virgil.
Oh, you've talked about him before. You said he's like the British Brock Lesnar.
That is correct. He's that's a bit of a simplistic way of putting it, but he is, he's great, and he's very good, and he's been signed.
Wow.
He was one of the chaps that got a tryout on when WWE rolled into town, and that's why he never did a dark match, because they decided that he didn't need to, because he was already signed.
And it seems to me like Vince is going more back towards more of the big men, in terms of who he's signing for, even developmental. He seems to be more interested in finding big men. And Snitsky just somehow fell through the cracks. He's a big man. So, hopefully, and the only difference that I see is wrestling used to be a big man sport. And I don't think that it's necessarily a good thing to go back to it, but I do think that you do have to have all different shapes and sizes on a show.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, some indies have no guy over 5'8". So.
I agree. I mean, he won't. He in the UK, he's quite a towering figure.
Right.
But over there, he won't be as towering. Someone said something stupid like, "Oh yeah, Rhino will be taller than him." Well, no. The only guys that are really going to tower over him are going to be Heidenreich, Taker, Big Show.
Yeah, real tall guys. Right.
And just like Lesnar. I mean,
Lesnar was he wasn't necessarily tall, but he was wide.
Exactly.
He was built like a truck. But apparently not built like a football player. Okay, so back to Survivor Series. I don't even know what the hell else is on the card. Oh, Lita returns to the ring. Big whoop. They did the thing on Raw where Snitsky kicks a doll and they never actually admit that it's a doll.
Yeah, I know. That was...
I mean, if he just actually kicked a baby into the front row, I think there'd be more of an international incident than a mediocre bad guy reaction on a wrestling event. You know, I mean, it was obvious it was a doll. I hope that they admit that it was.
Yeah. It could have gone so wrong if he hadn't have actually kicked it right.
Like he missed and it just fell in the ring?
Yeah.
Whoops!
Because, I mean, I imagine if they gave that angle to Nathan Jones, then he probably would have missed it back in the day.
Oh, hold this a second. And he'd pick the thing up and give the microphone back to Jericho, and he'd try to kick it again. And then he'd get really frustrated, so he'd just pick it up and throw it.
Yeah. Because Nathan Jones, the only man ever to miss a spinning heel kick twice. They taped it twice, and he missed it both times. So they gave up with it.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Then again, he's probably the only man his size to try and actually perform a spinning heel kick twice before realising he can't do it.
Right. That's where working within yourself comes in.
Yeah.
Anyway, what did I want to say to wrap this up? Survivor Series looks like a good card. To be honest with you, I only know about 6 of the matches, so that should be good. I really think it'll be a pretty well done card. I think it's a good idea that they're actually using the old school match type. Well, Shelton Benjamin's defending the Intercontinental title, by the way, against.
I didn't forget that.
Yes, against Christian. Captain Charisma, the Christian Coalition, the CLB.
I love Christian.
Yeah, he's grown on me tremendously. And of course, they had Mabel show up, Viscera.
Yeah.
We'll have to try to get
him as well. So.
We'll have to keep trying to get him. We had him booked, and it never seemed to come to pass. But we'll keep giving him a call. He was on there for one show. Did a number on the young Black Sting, and he did pretty good.
Pardon?
For some, I really think Shelton is trying his best to do like his best Sting impression in the ring.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Ooh, yeah, I can't do a good Sting impression. You do.
Well, I don't want to.
Showtime.
Yeah. Well, if it was just maybe Sting could start saying like out of respect for the parody.
Yeah.
Instead of it's showtime, you could say, "Ain't no stopping me." Ain't no stopping me! No!
Just imagine Sting showing up on TNA and going, "Ain't no stopping me now!"
No, that'd be
like
interesting.
coming out with like, sort of a mud pack with his face. That came out slightly racist, but I didn't mean it like that. I mean, obviously, I meant like something that wasn't an obvious, like, oh, you know what I mean.
I know what you mean, and send emails to Daniel Edler at Daniel at theinteractiveinterview.com. Okay. Where were we going to go?
I didn't mean it racist. So.
What did you say?
Carry on. I just don't worry. I'm trying to dig myself out of the hole, but I'll just stay down there.
Okay. All right. Well, during the interview, you haven't heard this yet. Lash LeRoux mentioned something, or I mentioned something, and Lash LeRoux says I'm dating myself. I picked a song, not in the, I get prettied up for myself and take myself out to dinner type sense. I mean in the sense that I go way back in time.
Oh, that'd be so funny. Like you're at a table for two, and like you sit on one side and like you like eat like steak or something. Then you go on the other side and you're like the girl and you're eating like shellfish and a bottle of wine, to yourself because you're pissed. And you got like you tie your hair up and then you run back to the toilet and like you put your suit back on, you sit down the other side, and you're eating away your steak and chips, and you go back to the toilet, and you run into the wrong toilet, and you put the wrong clothes on, and you come out like he, she, and you start eating wine and steak and chips and jellyfish.
Yeah, and I would just want to do that just to see the reaction of people.
Yeah. It reminds me of Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah, that was a good movie. I watched that just a couple weeks ago. I've seen it before then, but I sat down because it was on. There's also something cool that I wanted to mention that was a good comedy show. They did a show on wrestling last week. It's a show on ESPN2, and it's called Cheap Seats.
Right.
And it's these two smart-ass guys that just sit there watching random weird sports events from years gone by. And they make weird comments about it. And what makes us feel great is that they watch the wrestling event, and then right after the wrestling event, they watch the National Spelling Bee from 1994. So they're just, it's just so random and so off the wall. It's hysterical. I've never laughed like that in my life than when I saw them picking on the kids for the spelling bee. And I don't even like making fun of kids, but I just thought it was hysterical.
Go on and give us some examples.
Well, one girl had like really curly hair, and it was like really weird shaped. And when they came on, they started singing, "Hey, who let Charlie out of the chocolate factory?" Because she looked like Charlie, the kid from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. And then during the wrestling event, a couple of the spots were really missed, and then the guy started doing a dance, and he's like, "And look, he's dancing like Gene Wilder and Stir Crazy." So I mean, they were throwing little remarks there, and then of course they did a split screen where the guy does the dance, and then they show Gene Wilder doing the dance, and it's really smart ass and hysterical.
Who was the wrestling action of?
It's from like 1979, and it's from the International Wrestling Association. No, actually, it was called the IWA, but they called themselves the International Championship Wrestling. So that was another thing they were trying to figure out. How something that would be ICW stood for IWA.
Interesting.
Oh well. But it's funny, and if you ever get a chance, guys ever get a chance to see it, I don't know if you have it in the UK, but if you're in America, do check it out. It's on the Thursday nights at 10. It's called Cheap Seats.
Save it for me.
I did tape it, and I just keep laughing at it because there's things I miss. But
send me a copy then.
I will.
You send me a copy of that, I'll send you a copy of my first show.
I'd love to see it. And when is that going to be available for people to buy?
It is now available by the time this goes up, it'll be available for pre-order.
All right.
And it's going to be on sale for the first time next weekend at my first show, second show.
All right. And
DVD of my first show at my first show, apparently. Go
ahead and plug that real quick.
Yeah, my second show that I'm promoting, IPW UK. If you're a fan of wrestling in the United Kingdom, check out the website, ipwuk.com. It's my product, so obviously it's brilliant. And we're running just outside London, so very easy to access.
Very easy.
Got the Sexy Eddie coming in.
Sexy Eddie.
Sexy Eddie from CZW and IWS.
Cool.
In Canada, who have now, because of Sexy Eddie's international touring as such, are now changing their name from the Internet Wrestling Syndicate to International Wrestling Syndicate.
Ah.
So I feel like
What's his name? Sexy Eddie?
Pardon?
Sexy Eddie's his name?
Yep, that is correct.
Ask him if he knows Crazy Eddie.
Why?
No, seriously, there used to be a guy that in New Jersey, and I might be the only one who gets this joke. There used to be a guy in New Jersey called Crazy Eddie, and he was the guy that he was with like, "Hi, folks! Today at the Crazy Warehouse, we have a television set for $99.95. How can we offer this deal? Because I'm Crazy Eddie." Yeah. That
just sounds like a stereotypical American advert to me.
Well, yeah, that's pretty much what it was.
Oh, dear. My voice is going now.
Okay, we better wrap this up. So, where is it again? Where's the arena? Where people buy tickets?
if you're about to head over to www.ipwuk.com. My phone number's on there, worryingly enough. Probably shouldn't have said that. Just give us a call or an email for tickets. And it's in Kent, which is about a 25-minute train journey from London.
Cool.
Clearly. Just say that I ended up talking about him behind his back when he was standing next to me by accident.
I've had a few of those incidents before. When you're really going off on somebody, and then you see somebody like smiling at you, like shut up now, and then you're like, he's right behind me, isn't he? And that works out great. Yeah, that's a good way to make people happy with you.
On the plus side, everyone was drunk, and I managed to squirt my way out of it by saying I was talking about his friend.
Ah, okay. That's good. Well, as I was about to say before I cut you off, is Lash LeRoux on our interview.
What are you doing? As you was about to say before you cut me off.
Yeah.
That makes no sense.
I don't know. Like I said, we're friggin' burnt out. He said the remark about dating myself, and that was about a song that I was quoting, because he said about WCW, you don't know what you got until it's gone. And that actually is a song, so I'm going to play that song. And I'll date myself again.
Excellent. I hope you're hot.
Oh, yes. You've never lived unless you've seen me in a cocktail dress.
Oh.
I'm beautiful. I'm a pretty girl, Mommy. I'm a pretty girl. I'm a pretty girl. I feel pretty, oh so pretty. I feel pretty and witty and gay. No, I'm sorry. That's from the West Side Story, which, for whatever reason, the WWE is dressing their guys up as now.
Yeah.
So, oh well.
To the Royal Rumble.
Yep.
Theming.
Yeah, it's actually I always love their commercials. So I always actually think that's a good icebreaker. When things get monotonous, it seems to be funny to see these guys in different lights. I mean, they stay true to their characters, yet they goof off of them, which is good. I wouldn't advise TNA do it yet, though. So this is Cinderella. You don't know what you've got until it's gone.
Thanks for hanging in there and listening to our entire broadcast. If you liked what you heard, check out our entire catalog. You can subscribe to our channel and check out our archives here on YouTube as well as on WrestlingEpicenter.com. We appreciate you and want to thank you for tuning in. Watch out for flying chairs.